Hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Episode 8, Part 4 of Kaz's Fighter Jet Roundtable Tournament. Today we finish off the second round of 8 and see who is going on to the semifinals and the finals for this episode, which will be the next part. But for now, let's go ahead and get in on to the roundtable and the watchtower and see what new aircraft we have for everybody today. So over here on Team B, we have the KF-17 Keck Gen 2 sent in by Kerbal Fury. He has, he's definitely been a long-time competitor of Fighter Jet Showdown and other such things. This is not his first time showing up in Fighter Jet Roundtable. Let's go ahead and look at this aircraft. Well, the first thing I noticed is that it is powered by 3 Saturn engines. This thing is going to just... It's going to be basically like a rocket with wings. This thing is going to haul ass through the skies. So, let's go ahead and take a look at its loadout, though. It's got 2 Vulcan cannons here, using that 1 gun slot because it has the 50 cal turret acting as a little bit of a deterrent to anything getting on its tail. Not that things are necessarily going to do that when it's got that kind of engine power behind it. In addition to that, it is going with the basic 6 missiles. They are all AIM-9 Sidewinders, as you can see. Using the air-ground radar radome. Not that it's particularly important, because these are all heat-seeking missiles, so it doesn't really need a particularly powerful radar. Either way, it's got the split air brakes too, which I'm always a fan of. It also adds to the fact that it does add to the control authority of the aircraft quite a bit by doing that. But, yeah, no, I mean, it looks awesome, so who am I to complain, right? It looks great. So, looking at the rest of these, we have the vertical stabilizers here, standard canards, just acting as the vertical control surfaces, means it will have a lot of yaw control there with those, and of course the Saturns themselves can gimbal quite effectively in order to do that. So, all in all, this aircraft is quite light, it's going to be fast, and, well, it looks like it'll be fairly stable, but I guess we'll have to get it into the air to see. Then, of course, over here on Team A, we have, sent in by Script Kitty, we have the ADF-01 Falcon TLS, Slim Fast, though I'm just going to call it the Falcon. Just a quick refresher, it does have that badass TLS laser on the front, which we saw it put to pretty nasty use against mecha memes. I think it's the Condor. We did apparently figure out that the Condor's flares were not working, which was one of the reasons it got taken out so quickly. Although results were inconclusive when we were trying to figure out if it was the missiles alone or the TLS that actually did some of that. In any case, that's enough blabbering from me. We'll go ahead and get back to the watchtower over here, and Kaz Kerman get these planes into the air for round 1. So the engines are hot. Let's get these aircraft into the air. The enormous burst of sound coming from that, from the Kecks as they kick those 3, geez, look at that, those 3 Saturns into high gear. While they're going ahead and getting in, we're just going to pause that real quick and turn down the spacecraft volume just a little bit, so that way, when I boost my own voice later on in editing, it'll be just a little quieter. Anyway, we have the aircraft coming up and getting into position now. The KF-17s, the Kecks, are definitely the have the higher thrust-to-weight ratio. But the Falcons do have that TLS, which means in this first turn, considering that the Kecks only have long-range AIM-9s, there's an AIM-9Xs being launched by the Falcons from long range. as they move in. This time we can definitely see large amounts of flares and such being dropped from the KF-17s. Those A9s look like they're still trying to track, and we have a bit of lag there. I think we did manage to get a bit of a hit. Let's go ahead and get behind one of the Falcons as they come in here. There is debris from one of the Keks. Not sure how much damage it actually took. I only see a handful of pieces, but it still looks like it's flying, so it can't have been anything too significant. Either way, the Falcon doing its best, dropping flares. However, doesn't look like it was enough to stop it from getting hit by that missile. The last possible second, it does manage to fire an A9, which I didn't see if it tracked on anything. Either way, we have this solo Falcon now by itself, now being lit up by the Keks. Though those Keks only have 20mm Vulcan cannons, so I'm not anticipating a ton of damage coming from them. Not sure if the Falcon actually has a gun other than that laser. Actually, oh, it does. Of course it does. It's right there on the weapon manager, Silicaz. And the 20mm is actually managing to hit something fairly fragile, knocking off one of the engine nacelles of the Falcon. And the Falcon having some issues controlling there. Must have hit it in the air intake. And a missile, I think that was a missile coming in. Not sure. Either way, we've got both Keks on the tail of the Falcon. It's now lost that TLS and it's spiraling into the ground like a corkscrew. Uh-oh. This could potentially be bad for Kaz Kerman. Woo! Oh man, that was interesting. Kaz looks just fine over here. Maybe a little more excitement than he signed up for, but either way, that was a pretty quick end to round one. Let's go ahead and get into round two. So after a fairly quick round one, let's go ahead and get them into the air for round two. The Falcons there are very impressive aircraft. Very pretty looking, very cool. They've got a decent amount of thruster weight with those twin Saturn engines. However, and this is the kicker here, the Vulcans are not particularly powerful guns, unless the aircraft they're shooting at are made of fairly low HP parts. And because the Falcon is something of a recreation, and effectively trying to, well, look the part more than necessarily perform, that does mean that it's going to suffer a bit when getting hit by those low damage weapons, even though it doesn't do as much damage as some other weapons. The Falcon doesn't have as much HP in its various parts as other aircraft do. So once again, firing those A9Xs from long range and following it up with a third one in quick order. Missiles coming in over here. Looks like it's going to miss that Kek. Another Kek. Oh, geez, we have another direct hit on that Kek. It's not looking so hot. It's still moving around, so it's not down and out just yet. Let's go see if we can see the damaged Kek. This one doesn't look like the damaged one. We see a red lance of light just speeding by rather quickly there. The TLS trying to get a shot on this. Let's go ahead and check the other Kek. I'm not, honestly... Uh-oh, we just had a bit of gunfire from one of the Falcons take out the engines back there. We've got some lag. Something's blowing up. I can't see what it is. Well, that solves it. Looks like it was one of the Falcons. This Kek has definitely seen better days. It's still got decent thrust to weight, even with that single Saturn, just going to show how powerful those are. Very close range missiles from that other Kek trying to take out that Falcon. Let's go ahead and slip over there. Get into dogfight mode. Oh, not quite yet. It's launching, trying to keep the Falcon on its toes with that 50 cal. Proving to be, oh, a very quick double shot. Those missiles are tracking. Whoa, that was close. And Vulcans lighting it up. We've got a good hit. Pretty good hit. We've got pieces. Falcon kind of stalling out a little bit there. Not sure how much damage it's taken. Let's go ahead and take a look. And again, it's lost that engine nacelle. Again, these parts just not that strong, meaning a Vulcan will tear them up if it can get hit. Keck's now double teaming this poor Falcon. And there we see the cockpit that was clipped inside there, acting as the actual cockpit for the aircraft. However, it's now coming down. It has no control. It does have a TLS, but it's not going to be able to get the TLS on target. That TLS can only fire forward effectively in a very, very tiny arc. So, I think it's pretty safe to say we can tell who won this one. The winner for this section of the round of 8. Well, the second round of 8 is, in fact, going to be the KF-17 Keck Gen 2. Congratulations to Kerbal Fury. Let's get on to the next round. And over here on Team A, for the next round, we have F-40 Diamondbacks. However, we have each one slightly outfitted differently. Of course, the Diamondbacks come from the legendary Mustache. So, let's see if Mustache is going to be able to take his buddy Arctifire for a Mustache ride. Let's go ahead and see what he's got here. I like that he's using the aviation lights to add a little bit of mood lighting, we'll say. Interesting here, the Model Prime Diamondback has a very interesting missile. The X-51 Wave Rider missile, which is actually a cruise missile. Why he has this, I do not know. I also know he's got another little missile hiding here, right there in the center. It's legal, so that'll be interesting. Got some Sidewinders there and some AMRAAM missiles. Very unique shape with the Diamondbacks. Also, they're very stealthy naturally without having to use an IEWS, though they might be. In addition, they have a single Mauser and the 50 cal turret, which has become very, very, well, prevalent in the last few episodes. This is the Prime version, and you can tell because it's got this kind of teal blue, kind of cyan colored light on the wings. Very, very cool looking. However, over here, the Model Death Diamondback is a little bit different. Has a little less when it comes to missile load, because it is hauling the EML. Well, maybe not my favorite, but it's definitely one of my favorite special weapons. Also has what appears to be an internal bomb rack to carry missiles, which is very cool. I like that. I like it a lot. The Def model rocking some red accent lighting, which looks very cool. Aster missiles, not sure exactly what those are. Either way, it looks like it might have a... It does! It has a rearward-facing AIM-9X Sidewinder. I can't really see the other missiles easily from here. I think some of them are also backwards-facing in there. They are also AIM-9Xs, and, of course, these other air-to-air PL-15 missiles, probably for long range. So, these craft together are going to be going up against Arctifire's aircraft. The Ultra Sylph 50 cal, which, with my blessing, has been modified to have some very red mood lighting. Kind of interesting. We've got red versus blue and red versus blue, so well, that'd be kind of cool. Again, the Ultra Sylph running with that 50 cal. Very nice indeed. Loadout hasn't changed too significantly, at least not that I can spot at a glance. I'd have to compare it to the old one to make it, to be able to tell for sure. Either way, AI settings and everything have been tweaked, I'm sure, along with some awesome mood lighting. And over here, the Hydrangea sporting blue lighting, which is not showing up particularly well because of KSP's light limits and other things, but it does have them. They are there. I'm not sure if they're on. Run out let me charge? It did. Okay. I'm sure they'll turn on as soon as they've been sitting a while, so anyway. But yes, this aircraft has also gone through a little bit of some loadout tweaks and AI changes since then. That's the only thing that we're really allowed to do. I mean, obviously they've added the mood lighting. You know, whatever. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get these planes into the air for round one. So, here we are. Let's go ahead and get these aircraft into round one. And there goes the mood lighting on the hydrangea as soon as it manages to kick off. Looks like the Diamondbacks have a lot of thrust to weight taking off there. Much more than the Ultra Sylph does, although that's not particularly surprising. The Ultra Sylph is still, at the end of the day, a single-engine aircraft. It's not going to have nearly as much oomph as a craft with more than that. We have the aircraft getting kind of close to each other over there. They're kind of overlapped. Either way, competition starting, and immediately we have that cruise missile being launched, and a single PL-15 getting launched from this side, making a very large smoke screen over there. They are coming in. Both of them missing. Not sure what that gigantic cruise missile failing to connect. Missiles now being launched from the other side. Let's go ahead and let's watch the Death Diamondback, because it's got an EML which just fired as I move in here. Always a fan of the EML. Which apparently the weapon group for that is called the BFG 9000. I can definitely get behind that reference. Insert Captain America meme here. And looks, I'm not sure what the Death Diamondback is actually aiming for. I think just manages to soak a missile hit, only blowing off the outer edges of that armor, showing the kind of the internals there. Looks like it's still firing, or still flying, though it looks rather unstable, and it looks like it managed to blow off a single engine. However, those engines are very close to each other. It means even with just the one, it'll still have a decent amount of thrust, and not too off-center. We have an EML kill! A direct shot from the Death Diamondback into the hydrangea. I guess they did some extreme gardening. And Prime Diamondback coming in, trying to defend its wingman, although not going to do very much. Both the hydrangea and the Death Diamondback have seen, well, the hydrangea's definitely out after soaking a shot from that EML. And immediately afterward, you had the Ultra Sylph zipping overhead to blast its partner. That 50 cal turret is not putting in a lot of damage, but it is putting in work. It is definitely enough to keep the Diamondback here, the Prime Diamondback, on its toes. Yep. The Death and Hydrangea are out. This is now a 1v1. It could go either way. Diamondback very squirrely. Trying to get into position. This is 50 cal versus 50 cal. Because both these aircraft have those turrets, and I do believe they both have the VK-27 Mausers. Oh, and it finally launches its final Sidewinder. Looks like it goes wide, though. Doesn't look like it's tracking on much of anything. Yeah, that's goodbye, AIM-9. 50 cals just going. The fact that I see so much 50 cal fire from that Ultra Sylph leads me to believe that the Diamondback is the more maneuverable of these two fighters. Although, if I was a betting man, I would say that the Ultra Sylph probably has a longer fuel life, just because I do believe it's using an NMB engine as opposed to the two Saturn engines on the back of the Diamondback. Ooh, when we go into a bit of a joust. Both these aircraft very close to the ground now. This is very dangerous. Well, since these are the only two craft left, let's go ahead and get into fighter mode as they zip around at fairly high speeds. Diamondback here, really locked on to the grounded targets. Go ahead and drop that nav ball, because we don't need to see that. Oh! Oh! Solid hit! We have a solid hit on the Ultra Sylph. It goes down and just slams into the ground. An amazing round one, including an EML kill from the Diamondbacks. Oh boy, I can hardly wait to see what round two has in store. Let's go ahead and get that going. So here we are back for round two, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. I love me some EML kills. Yes, I do. Love them to death, you might say. As I recall, I do believe the Diamondbacks were... The original Diamondbacks were, I think, maybe the first aircraft to get an EML kill. It's been so many episodes at this point, it's hard for me to remember. Either way, it's always nice to see the EML score a kill. Always interesting. It's basically like a massive artillery cannon strapped onto the front of your plane. So after that very exciting round one, we get immediately into round two. Once again, that EL-15 and that enormous, oh man, that enormous cruise missile. Oh, cruise missile comes in. Nothing happens. Looks like the hydrangea and the other stuff are kind of on the back foot. Let's go ahead and watch them this time. The first missiles have been launched. We're good to get in here. The very blue hydrangea. Oh, missile streaking by. Both the aircraft here seem to be zipping around, just trying to bait out the missiles of the other team. EML being launched at the Ultra Sylph from incredible range. I would have loved to see that be an actual hit. I'll be watching to see if it fires again. I don't know if I'll catch it, though. Oh, another... Jeez. EML is outrageously fast, that projectile. We're talking kilometers per second in just how fast that thing is. Oh! Oh my god, another EML kill! Okay, not a kill, but it's definitely a hit! EML manages to puncture the rear end of the hydrangea, carving off those missiles. It's basically dead in the water, so to speak. It's not a boat. It is a plane, not a boat. Only one person tends to make boats, and it's certainly not our friend Ark. Either way, the hydrangea still has missiles. It could potentially fire those and get some damage down. However, Ultra Sylph is basically by itself. That pinpoint strike with the EML, it just goes to show the EML is still a pinpoint weapon. You can survive being shot by an EML if it hits you in a non-critical location. I know that's a bit of an Ace Combat meme at this point, but it's true. Despite the fact that the EML is disgustingly powerful, if it hits center of mass, you're going to die. Whoa! We have a super squirrely! Oh, AIM-9X comes in for the final nail in the coffin to this dogfighting pair. Both Diamondbacks sent in by the legendary man of facial hair himself. And to add insult to injury, the Model Def Diamondback blasting what remained of the hydrangea to oblivion with that EML will in fact be your winner of this matchup. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have our very, very clear winner here. In any case, I have been Kaz. This has been episode 8, part 4 of Kaz's Fighter Jet Roundtable Tournament. We've only got one more episode part to go before the grand finale. Who of our 4 competitors are going to make it to the top? Stay tuned to find out. Until then, I've been Kaz. Good night and happy building.